Since its grand opening in 2002, Walt Disney Studios Park has been a slight mar in Disney Parks history. The Paris Resort as a whole was traditionally seen as a commercial and financial failure for a multitude of reasons. Disney were contractually obliged to add a second park to the resort as part of an agreement made with the French government. This led to a hurried development of the second gate. Hoping to replicate the success of its sister park, Disney's Hollywood Studios, known then as Disney MGM Studios, the budget unfortunately did not match up with the great expectations of many Disney fans. This led to a smaller scale, lackluster park with very few attractions. This was a time where financial strain was placed on parks and resorts, with budget cuts in many of the large-scale projects. This was often attributed to the initial failure of the Paris Resort as a whole. However, 5 years following its original opening, Disney expanded this small-scale park to include a new area, Toon Studio. This would feature the opening of 2 new attractions, Cars Race Rally, a Zamperla Demolition Derby flat ride, and of course, Crush's Coaster. It's difficult to know if Disney were aware that they were currently creating one of the best attractions found at the whole resort. A rare development in Disneyland Paris was bringing a brand new and unique attraction that wasn't found in any other Disney park. Behind this unassuming soundstage building features one of the most fun roller coasters you can experience in a Disney park, and a truly great attraction. The history. Crush's Coaster is an indoor spinning roller coaster with dark ride elements. It deploys several different techniques that Disney parks have become synonymous with, creating a well-rounded attraction that appeals to many. Throughout the ride, guests encounter colourful sets, audio animatronics, digital projections, ambient lighting, and of course, a spinning roller coaster. What is a spinning roller coaster? Well, it's exactly as it sounds. Spinning roller coasters are typically standard steel roller coasters, but the cars can rotate on their own vertical axis. This can be triggered at specific points, freeing the cars to spin based on momentum. The layout allows for the cars to freely spin, giving an added motion dynamic. This provides a different experience to a standard steel roller coaster, as your perception of movement and where you are is often challenged. You end up riding certain parts of the coaster facing backwards or sideways, making it more difficult to anticipate the next portion of the track. Walt Disney Imagineering worked in conjunction with German manufacturer Maurer Zune to create this attraction, the first time the two had ever collaborated together. Maurer Zune, now known as Maurer AG, are a well-known roller coaster manufacturer known for its spinning coasters, such as Spinball Wizard in Alton Towers and Windjass in Phantasialand. But they're also known for some other unique designs, such as G-Force in Drayton Manor. Over in the States, coaster enthusiasts probably know them from Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit in Universal Studios Orlando. However, this tried and tested spinning coaster formula, in conjunction with a bit of classic Disney magic, has led to a classic attraction, which visitors and fans of the resort all flock to in droves. The setup. So what makes this attraction so much better than other spinning coasters? Well, Disney rarely don't incorporate some sort of storytelling into their attractions. Where other spinning coasters feel like generic models, Crush's Coaster takes place within the Finding Nemo universe. Guests visit the soundstage building, which is supposed to replicate the set of the movie, themed to Sydney Harbour. As part of the audio track featured in the queue, Crush and Squirt invite you on an adventure to ride the East Australian Current, or EAC, as seen in the movie. Guests board their own turtle shell to experience the turbulent current. 2 guests sit facing forward, while another 2 are faced backwards in the rear of the shell. The shell ascends the first small lift hill before a slight drop to the front of the soundstage building, symbolising the descent into the underwater world. Once guests round the corner and enter back into the show building, the more traditional dark ride elements of the attraction begin. Guests visit Nemo and Squirt on digital projection screens that blend seamlessly with the surrounding set. This is an example of new technology that was developed by Walt Disney Imagineering for this attraction, as well as the scenes with Nemo and Friends in Epcot. These projections allow for characters to move fluidly within the set, providing an added layer of interaction that wouldn't be possible with the use of traditional animatronics. Nemo and Squirt tell guests to venture forward so that they can ride the EAC. But before reaching this point, riders enter the next portion of the dark ride. Surrounding the walls of the next room are dangling jellyfish and murals of underwater mines, 3 of which make up a hidden Mickey if you got a particularly keen eye to spot. The turtle shell rounds a corner and enters a sunken submarine as seen from the movie also. Bruce and his fellow sharks recite the pledge, stating that fish are friends, not food, and this can be seen through video projections also. Riders begin to ascend a lift hill to the coaster portion of the attraction through the submarine. The turtle shells pass an animatronic Bruce as he appears from a hole in the submarine. Once riders reach the top of the lift hill, they enter a large portion of the show building that's pitch black except for projection lighting, giving a blue and wavy hue to parts of the room. They take a turn before descending down a bank drop, bringing the turtle shells to a top speed of 61 km an hour or 38 miles per hour. The turtle shells traverse vertical hairpin turns and other twisted lengths of the track, which spin the cars in an unpredictable fashion. The room itself is dark and riders don't have full visibility to make out where the track is. The darkness, in conjunction with the spinning motion of the cars, creates a very disorienting but fun effect in an attempt to recreate the churning of the current. Additional spiraling lights whiz around the room, an effect seen similarly in the traditional Space Mountain roller coasters. This gives an added illusion of speed and disorientation as the cars move along the track while also spinning through helix turns. This is all set with a backdrop of adventurous, surfy sounding music, which really sets the fun tone of the ride itself. The shells return to the station representing Sydney Harbour, while Crush and his friends cheer on. Payoff. Throughout the total 1 minute and 55 seconds of this attraction, Crush's coaster deploys several varying features that make this a very unique ride. Each of these separate the ride from other traditional spinning coasters and dark rides, hitting the sweet spot between the two. The station itself is immersive and creates a very nice ambiance, and this sets the riders up and informs them of the story. Where the majority of spinning coasters follow generic layouts, the added storyline of Crush's coaster gives added immersivity that most coasters lack. Everyone loves a good story, and everyone wants to take part in one. It's a tried and tested formula seen in dark rides found in theme parks around the globe. Story is universal and found in all cultures. Riding a roller coaster is fun, sure, but giving a purpose and reason to that actual experience really adds to your enjoyment. The dark ride elements of this attraction are also vibrant and well designed, with brand new technology being used at the time to incorporate characters into the ride through the projections. The sets allow for creative variation that isn't seen in many coaster attractions and help convey the story further. The ingenuity of Disney Imagineering to incorporate these parts of the attraction into a roller coaster ride really help it give a different feeling and more unique experience than what you would typically expect. The layout of the cars means that half the riders are facing the opposite direction, meaning when you re-ride the attraction you get to see different things. This also plays a part in the exciting nature of the roller coaster section too. While most spinning coasters take place outdoors, the added indoor and dark aspects of this coaster give a sense of uncertainty and surprise. You're never quite sure what will happen next as you ride. The spinning shells also provide a fun element, but also keep riders guessing. Each ride tends to be slightly different, as you never experience the same spins each time. This, along with the fact that you may be seated backwards next time, makes this a very re-rideable attraction. Even after several rides, you may know the track layout, but each ride still provides a slightly different experience. While there are thrilling elements to this ride, they never reach the full heights of other attractions found in a resort, like the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror or Hyperspace Mountain. This means the ride has wide appeal. The cartoonish nature based on the Pixar tie-in is attractive to younger guests, with the fun roller coaster elements makes this a fun ride for adults too. Adrenaline junkies will enjoy this just as much as adventurous kids. The first drop in particular is always a bit of a surprise, and the speed in which you travel in the dark feels a lot faster. This attraction manages to blend the varying features seamlessly between charming dark ride and fun but also thrilling roller coaster. There is something for everyone to take away from this, and this is shown based on the typically long waits for this ride. Conclusion. In a park that has such sparse amount of attractions, Crush's coaster is greatly needed. Where it's easy for Disney to plot another generic dark ride or replica attraction found in another resort, the fact that the park got a unique coaster found nowhere else really helped establish Walt Disney Studios as its own entity. From dark ride fans to coaster enthusiasts, there's something for everyone in this one attraction. How Disney have crafted all of these elements together has set the bar for this park as a whole and has firmly become a fan favourite. Each part of this attraction serves a purpose in outlining the story established. From queue to conclusion, Crush's coaster makes for a classic Disney attraction.